212 summertime. Hello everybody, welcome to the Summer IG Live. Let's get more numbers in. We're going to have a great time. Caroline here from Galo. Hey Caroline, thank you for joining us tonight. A special welcome to everyone, really. The musical wants to know what are we talking about. We're talking about the summers. Summer 27 is upon us. It's about to happen, so we want to fill you in on what is happening and all the developments. Welcome to Summer IG Live. My name is Lesley Mofokeng, and I'm the official spokesperson for the South African Music Awards. This is my second year in this position, and every year is quite different and exciting. Also, I want to welcome our sponsor here, White Star Super Maize Meal. Yay! And Sismandi, also welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Our guest tonight is a revered journalist and an editor. Her name is Lerato Matsoso. I think she's incomparable. I think she's passionate about the arts. She loves music. She contributes a lot to this space. And tonight we will be talking about Summer 27. How different is it going to be? We're going to unpack the categories for this year. We'll be taking questions from the floor, so feel free to pose questions. But I prefer that you put them in the little thing at the bottom there with the question mark. Just put them there. We'll keep checking, and we'll pick some from there. Otherwise, you can just put them in the comment section, and if I see them, I will respond. So yeah, I'm just waiting for Lerato to come online so that I can let her in and we can start our chat this evening. It's really cold. I hope you're feeling warm. I hope everything is going well with you. I feel like we're walking through the valley of death, through the darkness of the valley of death with this load shedding. I feel so insecure. I feel like while we will be chatting, electricity will just disappear. So I'm hoping that that won't happen. I'm hoping that things will go smoothly and we'll have a great chat. I had load shedding earlier on, but now things are back on track. You know, it's an extreme sport living in South Africa, I won't lie. Lerato Matsoso has joined. I'm just going to let her in. Lerato, please knock so that we can let you in and we can start. The people are waiting. They want to know what's happening with the summers, and you will be helping me unpack this year. There's Lerato. I am going to let her in so that we can start our chat, get right into it. There she is.
Hey,
Yay! I like
how
the
are you?
booking. I'm
It's
finally
I
here.
like yours too. I'm good, thanks. It's
Can
busy
you just put on
season.
record? Can we put on record that we didn't even talk about what we're going to wear?
Nothing. We just said it's cold. We just said it's cold. So yeah.
Great minds think alike.
Absolutely.
Lerato, welcome to Summer
Thank
IG
you.
Live. This is your second time. You were here earlier on in the year while we were drumming up support for people to join the summers. And by the way,
Yeah.
it was a huge success. We got record numbers. And I have to thank you
Oh,
among many.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Over 1,100 entries. We
Oh,
made records. So thank you for your contribution. Lerato,
thank
before
you.
I go far, I want you to tell the audience who you are. They know you as Lerato from Daily Sun, but I
Yeah.
think just a brief CV. Who is Lerato Matsoso and why is she here?
Why am I here, Leslie? Why am I
Yes.
here? Well, obviously, I am the entertainment editor for the Daily Sun newspaper. Was for the Sunday Sun until it was closed down. COVID, thank you. But yeah, over and above that, I have vested interest in the music business. Before I became a journalist, I was like a music manager for the likes of Mo Flavor. I was still studying at the time. I have a degree in journalism. I have one in social media studies, currently pursuing my LLB, so that with the dreams of becoming an entertainment advocate. Do talks, always active in the industry, always active in giving artists a helping hand, whether it's connecting them with other artists from other countries, because with my job, it's kind of given me that privilege to, be amongst the greats. Hi, Smandi. I see you, my sis and mentor here. And thanks to people like her, I've worked very closely with artists like your Anthony Hamiltons, your Joe Thomases. Yeah, it's a lot. Your Ninth Wonders,
It is a lot.
travel. It's a lot, but basically, I am in the industry. I believe in growing the industry and in the communications space. And I have you to thank as well before you jumped ship for being a great mentor. I need to write a book about how you ditched me the one time. Yes, I'm telling people. I hope you remember that. But here we are, years later, two peas in a pod. And obviously, I am a summer judge. I judge the BET Awards. I judge the MTV Awards. I judge the BASA, which is Business and Arts Communication Awards. I was named one of the 200 Mail and Guardian top 200 South Africans to watch out for. The list is quite endless, but I have the arts to thank for it.
Lerato, what you just said is just to validate, my decision to say Lerato should be our first guest because
Oh,
of
thank
what
you.
you've done for the industry and even for the summers. So we're in great company tonight, and I think the conversation will be rich,
Yeah,
and the conversation will be entertaining. Hopefully, let's not bore
let's
people.
also.
Let's bring the energy,
No, we
but
won't.
also informative and educational.
Yeah,
I think we've got a friend from Namibia joining.
yeah, I was
So
gonna
we
give
are
him a shout out.
international.
Hi.
We're international. So
Yes, we are.
welcome. So
I see
yeah,
Flojo as well. Hi, Flo.
yeah, no, great people tonight.
Yeah.
Doctor, let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest announcement just this week
Yeah.
is that the Summers will be hosting or will be having a new category
Mm-hmm.
called Artist of the Year. It's never happened before.
Yay! Never,
Artist of the
never.
Year. And
Yeah.
really, it's about the public making its voice heard. It is voted for by the public. It's going
Yes.
to be an exciting one and a very different one in that you don't have nominees. We're not going to have a short list. We're
Yeah.
just asking the people to vote and
Yes.
vote and
Yeah.
vote.
Yeah.
And on
Yeah.
the night, we'll reveal the big winner. What do you think the significance of having a category like this is?
Who? True. I mean, I think because of how the organization is sort of structured, I think it's also something that we need to touch on before going into that, because a lot of artists and the public don't really know how the summers come about or how someone is nominated. It's like a panel of judges, and I mean like experts across the country, from professors to lecturers to some people, but people that are not really invested in artists per se, but have that ear. And people in that space that understand it. So that's the basis of it. That makes up the 140 judges that judge each category. I think it's seven per category, if I'm not mistaken. And then what happens is then the process goes into where, depending on who scores, everyone is individual. No one knows who is who. No one knows who's judging what. And that's audited. So that has always been in the hands of the industry players or the people that understand the industry. And it's not necessarily about hype. I think some people miss that, where they kind of want to attach a certain hype of a certain artist to the SAMAs, but the SAMAs are about the full body of work. So it's not judged on one song. We critique every single thing in the body of work. So you can have one hot song, and you find that the rest of your album isn't as strong and competes with stronger products. And because it's different individuals, so when we all judge and the votes are tallied up, that's how literally someone is nominated. And then from then the different genres, then they're nominated into the pool of the top 5 categories, which is obviously best male, best female, best duo, I think best produced an album of the year, if I'm not mistaken. So that's basically what happened. So now with this new category, which is exciting, the power has completely shifted from the judges to the people. So the people have their say. So I think it kind of gives that balance and evens things out and hopefully equates things. But people need to understand the structure of the organization. With that being said, it's a very exciting category. It's a very exciting album. It'll be very, 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 very exciting to watch and monitor and see how the people view and see certain things. Yeah, it will contribute greatly to the public because the people are the ones that consume, the music. And it shouldn't be, people shouldn't overlook what the judges also do now because they have the power. But yeah, it's shared power. It's a democracy.
It's a democracy. Now,
Yeah.
I always say when people ask me about the SAMAs and how they work, I always say that the level or the playing fields are level. Everyone is judged the same. Whether you have 2 million followers on Instagram or you've got a hit on the radio station, that doesn't count. What counts is the body of work. You may have another artist with like 5 followers on Instagram, not playlisted on radio, but the music is of such high quality and artistry. And that's what I like about this. That's why personally I have loved the summers for that. The fact that we learn about the industry, about new players,
new
about
people,
talent,
that don't have the same chance as the big players.
They could fly under the radar for the rest of their careers, but the summers will put the spotlight on them and make them shine. So I'm really happy that you highlighted that. I wanted to also point out that, by the way, the one condition, or rather 2 conditions for Artist of the Year. The artist should have released work between 1
within a certain period.
1 January 2020 and 31 December 2020. So they must have new music out in 2020. And secondly, they have to agree to abide by the rules of the summers because, we have rules wherever we go.
Yes.
Lerato, let's talk about, we've never spoken about just the state of affairs, the state of the entertainment industry, judging by the nominations, judging by the nominees, judging by all the categories. There's about 40 of them. They keep growing, probably 43, 44. But looking at the categories, looking at the nominees, looking at where are we as an industry? What have you gleaned? What have you what do you make of the nominees for this year?
Sure. Wow. That question. It's a lot. I mean, it's not easy to kind of tell you down to one thing because maybe you might say, or I might say something that might offend other artists, maybe that are not necessarily, nominated. But what I can say is that a lot of artists put in a lot of work. There was more music coming out. That's the many, many thousands of entries that, were received by the SAMAs. But yeah, I feel like we are going in the right direction, but I still say that there's certain things that are lacking in our entertainment industry, in the music industry. One thing that I always advocate for, I think with a lot of artists that I've interacted with, that I speak to directly, is basically, you know, the sharing of music, the sharing of creativity amongst African artists, and not just limiting it to SA. That is the one thing I really advocate for, and that is the one thing that our industry lacks behind in. When you look at West and East Africa, they are owning that. That's why it's easier for them to kind of zone in on the American side, because they work together. So we still lack in that. You can release, like, no one is an island. You can release a powerful album. That's great. But what is the next step? You can't keep releasing 5 more albums with just you and not want to collaborate. So I always just say that let's just put the, you know, the hype aside, or the tours, and forget about social media and just put out good music. So that is my thoughts in that regard. But we are doing pretty well. We still have a long way to go. But I think our artists are getting there. They are getting there.
Yeah. Well, thank you for those points. I think that this has been a great year for representation and inclusivity. I think the Summers can look back with pride that they have so many female or women nominees this year.
Yes, true. Yeah.
Yes, people are talking about album of the year, being a boys club. Yes, there's that, but I think there are great strides that are being made. There's always room for improvement, always.
Absolutely.
And I think next year we might see improvement and have women dominate album of the year. When you look at the White Star newcomer of the year category, it's dominated by women.
It is.
We have Xoli Mngcango, Rain Africa, Azana, and Busi Khadebe. Banda and the Crocodiles is the only one that's it's a male band. But I mean, that's a great sign. That's so encouraging that Summers have acknowledged that women are doing great things. And that there are categories that have struggled to attract women. I mean, I look at the jazz album category, there's Tandintuli there. I look at I think it's dance album, and I think it's Nomcebo.
Yes.
Out with
it's
boys.
Always a boys club there.
Yeah. So things are happening. There's some movement. And I'm not gonna sit here and say we got it right. I'm not gonna sit here and say finally, you know, everyone is included. No, there's still room for improvement.
Definitely.
But I think when you look back, you get encouraged that, you know,
there is some movement.
Yeah, there's great things happening. Let's talk about the top 5 categories. I'm just going through them here. Let's start with the soft and free female artist of the year. We've got sponsors this year, so I'll keep dropping those names. Soft and free white.
Local is like proudly SA,
We're very delighted to have such support from our sponsors, and they deserve all the spotlight that they're getting. So let's talk about soft and free female artist of the year. I don't know if you know Rain Africa. That's the beauty about the Summers. Now, I didn't know about Rain Africa until the nominations, and I realized that she's a reggae artist. She's from Mofokeng in the Val. And she's doing amazing things, and I think she's got like 3 or 4 nominations in total. But she's in there in the female artist of the year. Busi Khadebe, who's done amazingly well for gospel.
Absolutely.
Her album Spiritual Encounter, she's in there. Shoma Josie, who is well known, leads production. Her album What a Life, she's in there. Nomcebo Zikode, who is an international star, thanks to
Jerusalem.
Yeah. And Claire, who I think is a newcomer, and I think she's on TV.
She's on TV. She's got a VIP, I think VIP, Zanzi VIP.
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah. And her album, Your Kingdom on Earth, she's also in the soft and free female artist of the year. Looking at this caliber of musicians and the mix-up and the different genres and what they represent and who they are, what's your take?
My take is absolutely, I share the same sentiments as you. I am so happy, first of all, for the women that we are kind of owning that space, although it's like still a very long shot. but it's something. I just hope that that momentum keeps going. But then again, in the same breath, they should not just be nominated because they're female. They should be nominated because the album is amazing, and that is what we're seeing with the women on this, on these platforms. So yeah, man, it's exciting. It really is. It's very exciting. It's insightful. Let's open up the industry. And let's just keep hearing the music. And the more people open themselves up, again, I will lead back to what I said earlier on. The awards are not about hype. It's like the Grammys, for instance. I think there was a year, I think it's Billie Eilish, if I'm not mistaken, where she was nominated. I didn't know who she was. Even the Americans were like, who is this girl, and people are just like, what? How is she nominated over this person, over that person? And she's gone on to blow up because of that recognition. So I think that's what the summers are about. Not I think, that's what the summers are about, the full body of work and giving that platform to those people. Also, it doesn't mean that because you and I don't necessarily follow those people, or you're just, consumed or stick to social media or TV, that there are, like, life doesn't exist outside of that. There are people that work and put in the work and really create, great music. I'm very happy about the versatility, and I cannot wait to see who takes the award in the best female category.
Don't forget Soft and Free, please.
Soft and Free, Batung Ntshwareleng Soft and Free. So in that
Female
category,
Artist of the Year.
Female Artist of the Year, yeah. So it's amazing. It's exciting times. And I think, these are conversations that people should have, that, okay, so who is this person and why would they be nominated? Because I don't know them. And just take the time out. Over my favorite, yes.
Yeah, why would they be nominated?
Why? What is so special about them? So then take the time out to go and listen to their music. And it should be shared. It's a shared thing. Music is international. It's for everyone. It's not for a select few.
Lerato, I agree. I was saying to someone in an interview recently that the summers are actually, at the end of the day, a competition. But we're not there to fight and hate on each other.
No.
We're there to see who's nominated, congratulate them, go and learn about what they've done and how they got nominated, and how, as an artist, you can improve or build on it. But also, as a music consumer, learn about other things that are happening in the industry. Pick up these new names, and it's for the industry, it's for the country. It's not really about hate. And sometimes I think we spend a lot of time justifying why someone is nominated and the other is not nominated.
Absolutely.
Then we end up not
100%.
Celebrating enough the winners. But anyway, competitions, music award ceremonies. Let's talk about Male Artist of the Year. We've got Sun L Musician for To the World and Beyond, Bongo Riot for Persistence. Kabza De Small, I'm the King of Amapiano, Sweet and Dust. Oscar Bo for The Groovists, and Junior Taurus for Back to Love.
Wow, Bongo Riot.
Consistent, I must say.
Consistent.
Very consistent. For a while now, he has been making his presence felt at the summer.
Yes, and it's obviously now him standing alone because he was part of Gangs of Instrumental, if I'm not mistaken. But he's not like on social media. He's not like booked at every show. He's not, especially with the people that he's up against in the category. It's you're kind of like, oh my God. But the album is absolutely flawless. I listened to it and I loved it. And I love the mix. In there. Obviously, dance is at the top. Amapiano, there's house music in there. There's bongo with reggae, if I'm not mistaken, in there. So it's an amazing mix. What are your thoughts on it? How do you feel? And I like,
Don't ask me. Kabza De Small is doing great things.
So you listen to Amapiano?
I do listen to Amapiano. I do. Okay. Don't ask me about my favorites. I'm supposed to be so no.
Of course, I can't.
Yes, But Kabza De Small being there and like the effort. I like what they're doing with Maphorisa. the united front, and just how they keep pushing the boundaries and making this genre of music. It's like the Kwaito of today. When Kwaito,
Absolutely.
broke out in the 90s. I think there are older people who can't stand the sound of Mapiano because
Yeah.
they don't understand it. But it's the time for Mapiano. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for Sun El musician. I think he's absolutely a consummate musician and a
Very
professional.
consistent as
And
well.
absolutely, and amazing work that he's done with Simi and obviously other musicians. So I think they deserve to be there. I must say that I didn't know Oscar Mbo, but now I follow him on
Really?
Instagram. I didn't,
But then again,
but
yeah, he's like a dance. He's in the dance. He's a DJ.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, no, no. Now I follow him on
Yeah.
on Twitter, and
Okay.
I'm learning and I'm seeing why he's nominated, and
Yes.
the excitement around him, the energy that
Yes.
he brings. You can
Yes.
actually even get it from his timeline. So
Absolutely.
yeah, Oscar. What about Junior Torrance? What do you think of Junior
Junior
Torrance?
Taurus, I love Junior Taurus from Mamelodi. Remember, they're the ones that gave us Charlotte. Not
Oh
Charlotte.
yes,
Is it Charlotte with
it's
Lady
not.
Zamar, if I'm not
It's not
mistaken?
Mamelodi. Mamelodi.
Mamelodi, yes, Mamelodi,
Yes,
Mamelodi.
yes.
It was Junior Torres, and I think it was Lady Zamar. If I'm not, there was
It was
they did a
ladies.
song. It was Lady Zamar, and that was the break, like the entry into the industry for her. And they
Yeah.
absolutely have always had this sound, which is obviously house, but like dance, mara very sophisticated, but
Yes.
you can, dance to it. There's so many sounds within the dance category that also kind of broaden the people within the category. So I'm excited about Junior Torres because I know that he puts in the work and really, really works, even from the previous albums that he's put out, sorry. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. And you might find that there's people that don't know Junior Torres and they're just like, who's
Yes.
this person? No, he's been around for a while.
In-
He brought the spotlight to Lady Zamar, who's doing absolutely well right now.
Yes.
So I even some of the features on the album, there are some unknown artists on there. So I really think it's a great way to break into the industry through that ship.
Absolutely. Let's go to album of the year, the big one. Album of the year. Again, Bongo Riot for Persistence.
Sorry.
Black Motion.
Lerato Kganyago is asking me when am I going back into DJing. Wow, stop it.
The Lerato is taking over my conversation. Lerato, calm
Sorry.
down. Lerato will answer that question at the end of this live. So stick around. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
So for album of the year, it's Persistence by Bongo Riot, Black Motion, The Healers, the last chapter.
Yeah.
Kabza the Small and DJ Maphorisa Scorpion Kings, Once Upon a Time in Lockdown. I love that title. Love it. Kabza the Small alone, I'm the king of Amapiano, Sweet and Dust. And Gina Torres, Back to Love.
Again.
This is
Yep.
album of the year, guys. Do you understand how big
Yes.
this nomination? And well, I mean, Kabza already has 2 nominations in the same category. I mean,
Imagine
how major.
competing against yourself. Like, I mean, what is that? But at least you take, you take a gong in. You
Yeah.
take a gong in. We'll allow you just now, Lerato.
I think let her know. Actually, let her know. Let's see if we can get her in.
Kokota,
Lerato,
Vito.
Beats or Kokota. Let's see if we'll have
Just
the 3
request
of
to
us.
join.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can.
But yeah, these are exciting times. Album of the year is quite competitive. And I like the consistency, like we said, of Bongo Riot.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's see how far it goes.
Yeah.
The last one before we move on is the duo or group of the year. Rhys Madlisa and Zuma. The album also interesting. Amaroto.
Yes.
EP.
That's the Amapiano gang.
Lerato Ari, she has sent a request. I can't see it here. Lerato, you can't
need
find
to
your
see it.
request. Let me see.
Hi,
Lerato,
good boys.
we're trying to find your request. It's not reflecting here. Or maybe technology is showing me flames. I don't know.
For someone
I'll
who
keep
listens to
checking.
Amapiano, you should know, like.
Stop it. Stop it. And then, again, Kabza the Small and DJ Maphorisa Scorpion Kings, Once Upon a Time in Lockdown, for best duo or for duo group of the year, Mass Music and Amos for Shona Malanga, and Mikasa. We made it. I mean,
Yes,
that's also consistent when you talk about Mikasa. Just
very consistent, very
how
consistent.
how they started. There's a story about Mikasa that maybe I've never shared with you. Moshe, who you know as Moti.
Moti.
Yeah, we go to the same church. I knew him when he was still in Sunday school. And he used to tell me that he's starting a band. I'm starting a band. 2 years
Yes.
later, where's the band? Where's the band? and I mean, 10 years, 11 years later, I look back and I think, wow. I mean, how phenomenal what they've achieved.
Absolutely.
So I'm really, really,
Absolutely.
really proud of Mikasa.
Me too. I also have a story about them. So because
Yeah.
of, like Lerato was saying, now when am I going back into DJing?
Yeah.
I used to be in that space a lot, and obviously like managing Mo Flavor and stuff. So
Yeah.
I then became good friends with Dr. Duda at the time, and
Yeah.
then Mikasa was formed. And I remember I was going to speak at the South African Dance Conference in
There she
Durban.
is. There's
Hey,
Lerato.
Hi
Pito!
guys. I'm so excited.
Hello,
Wow.
Lerato. I want to see
How
your
are
face.
you?
Stop hiding.
How?
Yeah,
Stop
I'm just
What?
hiding.
no, I'm trying to remove something here. Sorry.
Okay.
Go
Lerato,
live.
sorry for
How do I get
now
rid of
there's two
this?
Leratos. How do I communicate? There's
We'll
two
know.
Leratos. So
You
what
can
must
call
I
me.
How do
say?
I remove?
Matsoso and Kganyago.
Hey.
Matsoso, finish
Yes.
your statement. No,
Sorry.
she's
So
gone.
she'll come back. She'll come back. So then I remember, like, even I think even them coming together, there was a gig, and then they were literally like mashed up then and there, and then
Yeah.
they had to vibe, and then they were
Yeah.
like, okay, this is cool, and then they recorded, I think it's These Streets, if I'm not mistaken. And when they did that, and all the glory, and I remember I was going to the South African music, the conference that's done by DJ Christos and Oskido, and Greg Maluka and them, and I was asked to come speak, obviously, about the industry as a DJ, and as a person that was now in the industry. And I remember then Duda was like, please, can you just take these albums? Hey, mommy, love you too. Please just take these albums and distribute them. And I remember in Durban, I literally was like, guys, because that space obviously has a lot of DJs. So I distributed. And I think by the weekend, one of these songs was already like booming. And I remember I was out at a club, and I called Duda, and I was like, please listen, they're playing your song. But it's just the humbleness and the rich backgrounds that they have. The fact that J something Joao is from Portugal, and then you have Duda from Bumalanga, and then you have Moti from
Alexander.
Alex. Yes,
Alexander.
from Alex. From Alex, whose father,
Is a legend of
legend,
the
was part of Mango Groove. So
yeah.
it's just like an absolute three different sides that give it a 360. And I just love how they've owned that. I love how they've collaborated with the likes of what's this band from Kenya? Oh my God, how can I forget them? My favorite bands.
Yes.
They have a song, Tulale Fofofo.
Yes.
Yes, we'll
Someone
come back
please
to
help us
them.
in the
I
comments. Someone help us
forgot,
in
and
the
I know
comments.
them. I
No,
know the
can someone
guys
help?
that
Can
played for
someone help
like
us in the comments with
with
the
the
name?
band. They're from
The one
Kenya.
from Kenya.
They played for Obama, and I think they were like Obama's favorite band.
Yeah, I know
So
them.
like that
Sauti Soul.
rich Sauti
Sauti Soul.
Soul. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. So just that, and the consistency, and that it's dance, but it's so soulful. It's just amazing. They're able to tell stories. Here's a DJ and a producer and a vocalist and Moti. You know, it's just amazing. I'm so happy for them with the consistency, and I hope they break even more borders and boundaries. Lerato's back. She
Well,
come back.
I can't pick her up. I think we'll have a special invite to her. I'm trying, but we'll see. Braboisi, thank you so much. Braboisi says, I
We love
enjoy
you
listening
too,
to this
Abu Boisi.
conversation.
Thank you.
These two
Another
guys
legend. Another
know what
legend.
they're talking about. I love it. Thank you so much, Braboisi, for the support. Lerato, earlier, you remember I said that we should talk about the new categories. As you know, this summer is quite different from a lot of summers. There's a lot of new categories.
Yeah.
Not only Artist of the Year, but we have Best Gqom Album, Best Amapiano Album, and Best Kwaito Standing on Its Own. And it's quite interesting, you know, the unbundling, because remember they were all mashed together.
Bundled up. True.
And now they're standing on their own. And I mean, this Kamsa Small had a lot of nominations this year. Looking at the Amapiano category, he's also got 2. He's all, yeah, I mean, if you're good, you're good.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is also dominating in the Best Amapiano category. And I think, and Gina Torres is also Our Souls. It's kind of, I don't know. There's not much I can say. You must say. What do you think?
Hi, Kganyago. Hi, Bito.
Hi guys. Sorry, my network is the load shedding.
It's still, yeah, it's still the
Sorry.
sheds. It's still tekateking. Sorry.
Yeah, but you're there. Oh, Nomcebo Zikote says,
hi,
guys. Hey, Nomcebo.
Nomcebo.
Thank you for joining us. We just spoke about you.
Literally, for a while.
Yeah. Lerato, what do you think? What do you think of the announcement by the SAMA that there's going to have? Oh, now is he here, Lerato? The other
She's
Lerato.
here,
Matsoso.
but she's
Matsoso is
buffering.
Kganyago
Yes.
here.
She's here, but what take a network? She's buffering.
I will keep trying her. Anyway, let's carry on with our conversation. What do you think of these categories? Do you think the competition is there? Do you think it was a wise move? Do you think
it was absolutely a wise move? I remember when they were all bundled up together. There was such an uproar. The Kwaito guys were like, what are you guys doing? You know, and the Gqom guys were like, but you know, we've established our own sound. What are you doing? And I think reggae was also in there when it was bundled up. Sorry, hi Chauke. Hi Chauke Soli. So then, you know, it was an uproar. But the problem in there is that there weren't a lot of albums input in there. So the SAMAs are sitting there and say we can't have 3 people in one category, or can't have 5 people in one category, which means they automatically get, you know, nominated. So then they unbundled. I mean, they bundle them up together to kind of suit that. So now I'm super happy about that, but also it's a recognition to say that there are more artists that are now releasing music. There are more artists within those genres that were kind of shrunk down because of there was no output. So it means now there's more that are putting in the work. So I am excited about that. I am absolutely excited, especially also about Kwaito, because in many conversations, a lot of people are saying Kwaito's dead, you know, and I guess the Kwaito guys were like, where? And it's crazy.
You know,
because,
at the end of the day, the SAMAs are really about numbers. A lot of people want to know why the Maskandi category is there. What about Bapedi music? What about Soto? You know, but really at the end of the day, is the number of entries that we get over a certain period of time to see that there is movement. That is why Amapiano is standing here, because the numbers were just outrageous, and they warranted to
its own standing. Yes,
So
yes, true.
sometimes we need to learn and understand how these things work.
But then can I ask you a question for the SAMAs?
Yeah.
So if something like this happens, as you're saying that it's a numbers game, does it mean then that every time there's kind of a new subgenre or a new genre that comes out, there will be, we were already saying we're sitting on over 40 categories. So does it mean that we'll keep adding? And what about then the consistency? What if then that dies out? Are we saying we're going to shelve that or bundle them in some way? Or like, what is the feeling from the organization about that?
Well, the thing about the SAMAs is that they have to reflect the industry. They have to sorry, go with the trends of the industry, and and it listens to the industry. So if the industry says, here is the new genre, here are the numbers, here are a competitive kind of race. Let's say there's about 10 people who can stand on their own. The SAMAs will definitely add that category. As it's actually just a numbers game. If the numbers are not that great, as you said, there was a category with 5 entries or 4 entries. What's the point of keeping that? But if the numbers add up, if the interest is there, and if the voices are clear enough and loud enough, the SAMAs will consider that. The SAMAs will. Obviously, there are rules that govern these introductions and stuff like that. But it's something that we would look at. Lerato, while I have you, before you go, please, because your network is kind of taking.
Yeah, it is. Load shedding. The worst.
I want to know, Kganyago, your thoughts about the SAMAs launching Artist of the Year category. What do you think?
The Artist of the Year. I mean, it's why did it actually take you guys so long to have that category?
Right?
You know what I mean? I'm actually, only when I realized that we haven't had this category, which I feel is a very important category at the SAMAs to show recognition to that one particular artist. We're not saying, we're not undermining the rest, but there will always be that one artist in that particular year that really goes all out and puts in the effort and does really, really well. So I'm super excited about it. Besides the other categories that I can't wait towards the end to, attack you guys about, because tonight I want to speak for the people, So yeah.
And what about
fantastic.
What about? I want to ask you who you're going to vote for. I think it's.
No,
what do they say? But tell me about the other maybe categories that have taken your interest, the ones that you're really interested in and you feel strongly about, and whatever you want to say about those categories.
Without sounding biased, but I mean, there's one particular category that caught me off guard because a particular artist was not nominated in that category, and that I felt, there's plenty, but there's just one that really stands out. Let me just put it out there, like Makadzi for me, I still have a lot of questions with regards to that. The first thing I asked was, did she submit? And I heard she submitted. I heard she submitted. And obviously, I don't know all the requirements, and this is where you're going to come in, Lesley. But I really felt, at least for one category, she deserved a nomination somehow. So if maybe perhaps you can take us through the process of choosing, or besides the submissions, how do you then pick an artist for a particular category? Because guys, Makadzi has been doing so well. She's been doing really, she's one of those artists, and irregardless of her being a female artist, but overall, Makadzi worked really hard in the past year or two, So it was a bit of a shocker for me that she wasn't there. But obviously, I don't know all the requirements. I don't know how the judgment goes. I don't know who's in the committee or the panel, etc.
Well, Kganyago, I'm going to ask Matsoso, because she actually answered this right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, I missed that.
Matsoso, can you please, maybe as a former SAMA judge, just take Kganyago through the process.
I'll try very quickly. But basically what happens is there's like 140 of us that are appointed, right?
Yeah.
So like I said, it's people within the industry, but in the background that are obviously not artists, whether education, whether someone that works in a studio on certain
Sure.
things, you know, just different people, but with the knowledge
Sure.
of the industry. And then what they do is based from the SAMA committee then choose who of those judges will judge which category, right? Yeah. So the genres. So whether best hip hop or best maskandi or best whatever. So then we are kind of cut up. I'm not too sure. I think it's about 7 for each.
About five. Lerato
About
five.
five. Oh, five. Sorry, about
Okay.
5 for each of that, right? So we don't know each other. We don't communicate. Nobody knows who's judging what, right? And then you sit in your own comfort, and everything is loaded. So Makadzi's album was probably loaded in there for that whatever category they submitted into. So whoever that was judging that, the 5 judges that are different, then tally it up. So what happens is there's different kind of requirements that you go. So we don't judge on one song. It's a full body of work. So you might find that there's 2 songs on the album that are really popping, that are hypey, that are everywhere on the streets. She's getting bookings. However, when it comes to the full body of work, maybe it wasn't strong enough. This is now me, you know, just saying that. I don't know how those judges went about that process. And then, so what they do is, say, for instance, maybe in her genre, there were about 25 entries, right? And in those 25 entries, then out of those 25 entries, there should be, when the votes are tallied up against each and every judge, there should be the 5 highest that are scored high.
Okay.
So then
she didn't make,
she probably didn't.
Make the
yes.
top 5 out of
Yes.
all
So the 5
that were there.
yes. Remember, in a genre, then there has to be in a category, there has to be 5 people in the category.
Finalists. Yeah.
5 finalists.
Matsoso, I want to add something, Kganyago. I wanted to say that you know, the playing fields are leveled at the summers. You may be popular, you might have a hit or 2 on the radio, you might have 2 million followers on Instagram. We judge you the same way as that artist with 5 followers or 50 followers who's struggling to get onto the radio to be playlisted. But the music is of the artistry, and the music is of great quality. And at the end of the day, these categories or these awards are really about comparing this over the other. So you take this and you say, I'm going to score it this much because I think it deserves this. And by the way, our judges justify. They tell us why.
Yes.
They tell us why we give it this score. And then there's this other one, I'm going to give that score. I don't know this person, never heard of her, but she's so amazing, I'm giving her this score. That is why the Summers always have these new names, because everyone is treated fairly and equally. We do not consider success in terms of fame, in terms of hype. The only thing that I'll say, obviously, is with the record of the year. There, you need to have had a hit that charted.
The radio does, it's tallied up by radio.
The music you choose with your music compiler contributes to that, to the top 20 on record of the year. The same with artist of the year. We're expecting someone who's popular, who entertained
to
people,
dominate. True.
That people loved. But the trick is that you have to get the votes. You might be popular, but people don't vote for you. So we'll see. And as I said, Lerato has explained earlier on, there's no short list for artist of the year. People are just going to vote until the night of the summer. And then we're just going to announce who the winner is. It's exciting. It's such an exciting race. But I like it because it's like a race in the dark. You don't know who's leading until the night.
So I get, as someone who is in the music industry and also works for a radio station and partly also knows the process of what requirement we need in order for us to play a song or an album or to put them on radio. You mentioned a very valid point when you say, it doesn't mean that you've got 5 million followers or whatever. I'm one of those people that always says, some of the biggest artists in the country, the one that are getting the most bookings aren't necessarily the ones that are trending on Twitter. 100% agree with you. That is a valid point. But with Makadzi, I mean, everybody else, I was like, okay, I understand. But with Makadzi, you speak about the body of work, the album. But also, it's just one of those debates. I've listened to the whole album before the saga. you know, even after we had on my show, she performed live not so long ago. She really put in the work.
Yeah.
And she really put in the work from production and everything else. And I understand why then people would say, is it because she is singing in a different language, a language that doesn't necessarily dominate South Africans, and that is Singuni. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, which goes back to Hore. The people that were the panel, the 5 people that are there, you say Hore could be anyone. Isn't it a bit risky then when it comes to certain categories where you will place a judge that has no idea about an album and the requirements of what, you know, what needs to be put in an album? Because that's a bit risky. Because a nurse, let's say, for instance, I mean, I know that we made an example, but let's just say a nurse now judging album of the year. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, you want it to be diverse, you want it to be neutral, etc. But still, I don't have the knowledge of the you know, the requirements. I don't necessarily know what I need to listen to besides the hype. What makes a good album? What makes a solid artist? What makes
Kganyago, can I please answer that, because I'm looking at the time, I'm worried.
Sure.
So the judges,
and I'll say bye just now, don't worry.
No, we enjoy your company, don't go. So the judges are spread throughout the country. They work for radio stations. They are music compilers.
So it's everyone behind the scenes
they
in
make
music.
They are
that understand music.
Let me make my point quickly. They are experts in their field. They are lecturers of music at universities. They are music critics at newspapers. They might be bloggers whose opinion is respected. So the 140, that the number that Lerato Matsoso gave of judges, these are people that have been vetted, and you know, we have their profiles as the SAMA as to who is this person, why should we trust their judgment in this particular category. The industry, not the SAMA office, the music industry meets and says, this person is going to judge this category. We know their work. We know what they've done there. We know what they can do. We respect their opinion. It's not anyone. It's people
and can
who've
I
got
just add something
credibility,
as well?
people with credibility, with integrity, and who have a proven track record of work in the music industry.
Okay.
So I also just wanted to add, sorry, is that so even in the judging, it's not like you sit and you listen to the album and then you're like, oh, okay, this deserves a 5. There's literally a criteria, like the production, how much would you rate it? Do they understand the genre? How much would you rate that? How's the engineering in that? So you score. And then over and above that, then they say you need to justify why you gave this certain album like these scores. So then that's when you zone in to say, okay, maybe on the first song, maybe the mastering wasn't good. Maybe on the first song, her voice wasn't too high, or this was different. There's no consistency. So then remember, there's an auditing company that does that. And if there is a discrepancy found, now remember, this is something that they've been doing for years. So they can pick up if you're being biased. They can pick up if there is some sort, because I mean, sometimes if you can't really proper, like paragraphs on paragraphs of justification of why you gave this person this much. You can't just say, I'm giving them a 1 because it doesn't sound nice. But what is that? What doesn't sound nice about that? So hence I'm saying then that I was saying that in that category, some categories have more people that they compete against. I'll say, for instance, maybe a dance has like 25 categories. So you listen to all 25, all 5 of you, and then the votes are tallied up. So it's not like based on an individual.
I'm worried about time. There's a question here from Sekhala. He says, I know many artists who complain about tribalistic tendencies in the industry. Is there a balance in that respect? Well, let me tell you, Sekhala, that the judges are based throughout South Africa. There might be a judge in Nelspruit, in Polokwane, in Mofokeng, in Durban, all judging the same category. They never get to meet. They never sit around the table.
Nobody knows who does what.
No. So people, I mean, I understand how emotions can run high, but the truth is that the SAMAs for 27 years have been producing, you know, amazing results and giving amazing artists bigger platform to shine. And as I said, I'll say this again, that the playing fields are level. We don't look at fame. We look at just your artistry. There are so many people who are nominated, and people who say this one should have been nominated. So then I always ask, who should be taken out? When you look at that
To
list,
replace
tell
that
me
person.
who you think
Yeah.
should go. And you find that it's someone that they have never heard of. But because our judges sit and listen to that album, all 12 tracks, all 15 tracks, not just the 2 that are big on radio, you find that there are surprises, so-called surprises. But our judges have invested their time to listen with that critical ear, with that trained ear. And I think it's a fair process.
No.
I give
But
an
you see,
example
this
of
is
the Grammys
I'm
as
happy.
well.
I'm happy that you guys were able to clarify that, because
Yeah.
remember, as I said in the beginning, that I'm coming in as the public.
Of course.
Yes, there's certain things that I knew, but I think people just maybe perhaps need more education with regards to the
Absolutely.
summers. We need to put in more of an
Absolutely.
effort to make the public understand the process. That
Yeah.
you know, what are the requirements when it comes to nominating a certain individual in a category?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
now we see the end results, right?
Yes.
They are
Of
given
course.
to us
Of
when you
course.
guys announce the nominees. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
as some people, and then people will come to me and say, "But why isn't this person nominated?" And of course, I also have my concerns.
Of
And
course.
not
Yeah.
necessarily saying that the people that are in that category don't deserve to be there. Everybody that gets
Yeah.
nominated deserves to
Right.
be there, rightfully so. But you have your moments where you question, okay, so how did this process go about? But
Yeah.
you are clarifying certain things. There's a question that came through. There's a question that actually came through, which I wanted to ask just now from Ms. Prue, asking if you guys rotate the judges every
Yes.
year, or do you have
Well,
the same judges?
Not every year, obviously, because I mean the pool is not that big, a pool of experts. So they have a time. I think you have to serve up to 3 years, and then you move from being a judge. You take a break. You'll come back at another time, or they move you to another genre. So there is that rotation, correct? There's a question from Basisa, or a comment. She says, "I have a problem if that's the case, because the judges do not reflect what the people who consume the music." And the answer really is that the summers are not about popularity. It's not a popularity contest.
It's not about hype.
It's about finding the gems. It's about, in many ways, it's really
The
about
body of
teaching
work.
the public. It's in
Correct.
many ways, it's about teaching
No,
the
I know.
public about the
Yes.
hidden gems, the one that you never knew existed, but they get nominated for a summer because they are so amazing. So it's not about the biggest thing in the country. It is not about that. Only in record of the year. But when we talk about categories, it's really specialized. These people, you know, people with expertise in a certain genre, in a certain, you know, category that will say this one over that one, and then goes to the public. The public is like, okay, who's this one? Because we know this one.
We don't know
And for
them,
me,
yeah.
I think it's an opportunity for the public to say, let me learn and support South African music. We're not here to fight and hate on each other. We're here to make the industry grow. Let's be happy with the ones that are nominated. There's always next year. You can always go back and check, how did this one get nominated? I want to work to get there. I've had so many artists who say that to me. Like, I am going to submit again next year. I want to see what you're going to say. So it really is something that you should aim for. It's not easy to just be nominated for someone because you're popular. You really have to work towards it until you get it right. But yeah, that's really it. Lerato, parting words. We're almost out of time. Lerato Kganyago.
Me, I don't know. Remember, I just I just crashed into the party. I don't have any parting words. I don't want people to be coming after me saying I'm representing the Summers. But basically, I mean, this was a very insightful conversation, and I mean, we've been seeing every day people still asking, you know, how do the Summers actually work? Artists also being very reluctant to submit because already in their heads they're thinking, well, I'm not going to stand a chance. Do you know, I'm not going to stand a chance because there is this whole misconception that there are faves, there are record companies that we speak about payola. There are, you know, there's rumors that there are people who pay to be nominated. So we need to, you know, conversations like this are very important because so that we can get rid of the myths and things that are said about the Summers and people actually start understanding how the Summers operate, because it's really discouraging for an artist. Imagine an artist that has put in so much work in the past 2-3 years submitting and not being you know, nominated. It's really discouraging because as much as you don't need a summer, as others would say, but it's really recognition from your industry mates. An award, yes, doesn't necessarily mean everything, but as an individual. It's some kind of like, a pat on the back to
A
say
pat on
you've
the
done
back,
really
Validation.
well.
Yeah, a
of course.
validation. Lerato, I agree with you completely. Kganyago, but don't go. Matsoso, before you give us your parting words, there's a comment
Yeah.
here from Market says, what happened to Katlego? When you guys nominate him, did you not know about his scandal instead of nominating him and took him to trend again? That was so heartless. Shame.
Who's got
Who's
that?
going to respond to
Who's
that?
Katlego?
Wrong awards. I think speak about the
They think it's the
subtitles.
softest.
Oh no, that's the SAFTAs. Oh no, wrong awards. We're talking about the
No,
summers.
these are not the softest.
Lerato,
No, we're talking about the
Lena.
SAFTAs.
Matsoso, your parting words, please.
I'm very excited about the new category. I'm very excited that the public will get to vote. I am very happy with the body of work that our artists have put in. It's been absolutely amazing. Congratulations to the Summers for having breaking history with the amount of entries. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I'm sure the judges had a field day with trying to zone it down. But again, I share the same sentiments as Beto, that we need to have these conversations. And I think I did highlight it, which is why I spoke about it when we started this live, to say that people need to understand, although it's not easy explaining it and for the regular person to understand it, because they just want to see the results. They just want to see their favorite artist there. But really, it's someone else's favorite artist is on that list as well. So, but yeah, I think the Summers just need to keep opening up the industry, keep opening up for such conversations, and take it to the people more. Take it to the people more, and have those answers. And I mean, it's SAMA27, so it's been on there for 27 times. So clearly there is something right that's happening, but we just need to fix the wrongs. So congratulations, Liz.
Yeah. Lerato, I'm going to offer myself, when you have a slot there, call me, let's have this discussion. I have all the answers. You can ask me all the difficult questions. I have all the answers. I think Lerato is absolutely right. The conversations have to carry on, and let's help each other understand how different the Summers are to all these other awards, and how fair they actually are. People think they're unfair, but I actually think they are fair. That you come with your album, you're not playlisted, no one wants to give you a chance, you enter the Summers, they nominate you 5 times, you win, and suddenly
nobody
the
knows
country
you.
knows
Well,
about
nobody
you.
knows you.
Sipokazi Mahakana of Amaqala, she released her album, I think, in Jan. She entered the Summers in Feb. She went on to get nominated. People were like, who is this one? And then she went on to win, and she became this big star that she is.
Msaki.
Zahara will tell you the same thing. Judith Sipuma will tell you how when she started and how she won a SAMA, and it set her up. The SAMAs really are a platform to launch you and set you up. And I think, I really, really do insist that I think they are fair. Someone has just asked, Oratile Ratsoma says, someone asked if it's true that the awards are bought.
I wanted to ask you that. I was actually, that was going to be my next question. As much as it is blunt, but I think this is the right platform, or maybe you need clarity on that, because people really think that
I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me, like, at which point in this explanation that we've been giving of the process, of the procedure, the judging part, where do you think money will manage to slip in?
Land on someone.
You don't know the judges. The scores are audited. The office of the SAMA only gets results from the auditors. Like, at what point would you say this is where they might manage to put in the money? Like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. It doesn't work like that.
But Liz, also we and I will keep saying this again. I'm representing the public now, so I understand why a person would assume that they are bought.
True.
Because there has been certain events in the Summers that have happened and that have really raised eyebrows, but because we weren't given enough clarity with regards to the process once again. So we need to do maybe perhaps more workshops. We need to do, I don't know what the Summers need to do, but to teach the public about how the voting and the nomination process actually takes place. We've seen people walking away with record of the year, people that are unexpected. And then you see the public going, and I always say it's because you did not vote. You tweeting about it doesn't mean that that is a vote.
Yeah.
Go
Yes.
get that 10 Rand, 5 Rand airtime and
And
vote
vote.
for your
Put it
favorite,
in, yeah.
you know, for record of the year, vote for your favorite artist. So we also partly need to put in the work, but the SAMAs also need to put in the work when it comes to making sure the public actually understands the
Yeah.
process.
Absolutely.
I mean, you broke it down so beautifully, Lerato, when you spoke about, you look at different, I mean, there's different sections. You look at the body of work, you know, a production, you look at this and that, consistency. And, you know, some of the things you mentioned, I didn't think of, you know? So, yeah.
Well, Kganyago, as I said, you can call us. We're ready. And Tabi says that we must go to vernacular radio stations because they need the clarity. Most English stations understand these things. Tabi, I've been doing a lot of vernacular radio stations lately. And yeah, Lerato Kganyago is right when she talks about engaging the public and being more out there and sharing this information. And it's always been like, oh, now we understand. Oh, we didn't think like that. Oh, so I think we need to put it up and on blast.
Okay.
And Lerato, I want to thank you for bringing us your followers because we managed to actually reach out to them. And and whoever wants to understand, whoever wants to know how the processes work, I think they work. Yeah, knowing how it
you know
works.
what, I'm gonna speak to my producer actually. When is the actual event? I think we need to have maybe 30 minutes on air and really unpack, you know, the SAMAs and have people call in, people send in their questions and have that moment to really speak about the process of the SAMAs. I've hosted the SAMAs before, and you would think that I know everything, but I actually don't. Today, Lerato, I found out something new. And thank you for
Well,
this.
that's so kind of you, Lerato, because there's a comment here from Paul who says Kganyago is the only person making sense here.
Oh, wow.
No, don't be mean, guys. Behave. My
Wow.
followers
Talk to your
behave.
people,
Don't
Lerato.
embarrass me, guys. I'm doing this for you guys. Please don't embarrass me. Don't be mean. Let's behave. We know, we've heard. They've made valid points. They have made valid points, but we also have our concerns. So let's behave, my children. Let's behave.
This has been fun. Mother, thank you for coming through. Thank you for it's not a photo bomb. What do you call this? A video bomb.
Yeah,
thank you for the video bomb.
I
and
crashed
for
into your party.
you.
No, I had to. No, I had to because it's so weird because I was like, what are they talking about? And then I saw the post and I thought I need to jump in and actually invite my followers so that maybe, you know, the 30 or 20% that we have here can actually listen to the process and maybe convey the message also. But yeah, thank you for allowing me to crash your party.
No, definitely. And we'll play a one-on-one set very soon, I promise.
Oh,
you need to go back to DJing. She needs I've been telling her for so many years that she needs to go back to DJing this
We
time.
need her in journalism. We need her to share the news, to keep people informed. No, we need her in journalism. She stays there. Matsoso, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Bito. Bye, Les.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We had a great time. Thank you. All right. That was fun. I think we'll be back soon with another guest. And thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you so much for supporting the SAMAs. Thank you for engaging. Thank you. Bye-bye.